Hello, this is Sarah Braasch. Welcome back to my channel. So this is part 3 of my essay, my medium essay called My 6 Years at Yale with the Woke Intersectional Feminists and how they tried to destroy me. And this is my response to James Hatch's viral medium essay, My Semester with the Snowflakes. So I just want to thank everyone so much for their donations and their support and their kind words. And if you could please donate to my legal fund, I have my PayPal, me, and GoFundMe links below. And if you could also subscribe to my YouTube channel, it would mean the absolute world to me. And I also have a link below to my medium essay as well as some other links. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. You are probably thinking, why on earth would the Yale administration be so hell-bent on destroying one of their own? Why on earth would the Yale administration and police choose to participate in a hate crime hoax targeting an older, non-traditional, lower socioeconomic class woman graduate student with mental health disabilities? If what was done to me sounds insane, that's because it is insane, utterly insane. I have been living inside my own worst, hellish nightmare. It's even hard for me to believe that this is my life now. I never could have imagined in a million years that this could have happened to me. What was done to me should terrify absolutely everyone. If this can happen to me, an entirely innocent human and civil rights licensed attorney activist, it can happen to absolutely anyone. My nightmare at Yale truly began during my first year in the philosophy PhD program in the spring of 2015. I was so overjoyed when I found out at the very last possible moment that I had been accepted to Yale off of the wait list that I curled up into the fetal position on the floor of my surrogate dad's apartment in San Francisco and cried. The then chair Steve Darwall had to wait outside a dean's office to get permission to make me an offer on April 15th, 2014, the last day on which to have done so. I was devastated when all of my hopes for my PhD program experience at Yale were dashed by what took place in spring 2015. The Yale Philosophy Department was conducting a search for a tenure-track assistant professor position. I hadn't been much involved until I saw on our private email for graduate students that my cohort were taking issue with one of the job candidates. To make a long story short, this particular job candidate, our only person of color job candidate, was an evangelical Christian who had, to my mind, more or less expressed his adherence to biblical scriptures, Christian doctrine, including what he deemed to be a prohibition on sodomy, including homosexual sex, in years-old comments on an online Christian forum. Apparently, the graduate students had gone trolling online for dirt on the job candidates, and they found what they were looking for. These comments were deemed anti-LGBTQ hate speech, and ultimately the grad students devised a campaign to deny this job candidate this position at Yale, including by interrupting his job talk with a protest, wearing rainbow wigs and t-shirts, etc. While I had initially attempted to gently dissuade them from arguably violating this candidate's federal civil rights, I finally had to tell them in no uncertain terms that I would not allow them to do this. I was immediately denounced as anti-LGBTQ. There were multiple departmental meetings and tears and people running from the meetings because they felt unsafe and attacked as self-identifying LGBTQ persons. I was branded persona non grata, which is not an unfamiliar position for me, and yet I was devastated. I had only just begun my studies at Yale, and I was once again a social pariah. At some point, there was to be a meeting for grad students only, a meeting I had zero intent of attending. A few of the faculty convinced me to go, saying that the other grad students wished to mend their relationship with me and put this behind us. It was even worse than I ever could have imagined. It was me sitting in the middle of a circle of approximately 20 grad students while they berated me for hours until I was bawling. They told me that I was stupid and evil and disparaged my philosophical and legal skills. I held firm, explaining that despite being an anti-religion advocate and decidedly pro-LGBTQ rights, I was also a profoundly committed civil libertarian, civil rights licensed attorney activist, and free speech advocate, and that I could not, in good conscience, allow them to violate the federal civil rights, the religious expression rights of this evangelical black man, who also happened to be our only person of color job candidate. It was the last time that most of the other grad students spoke to me. I was entirely socially ousted from the department. The grad students wouldn't look at me except to glare at me. They wouldn't respond to me if I said hello or asked them a question. If I entered a room, they would stand up and leave it. I tried to steel myself, but it was more than I could bear. Eventually, the faculty pretty much insisted that I seek help at the mental health clinic at the Student Health Center because I was so distraught. I was treated for approximately the next 2.5 or 3 years, including with the use of psychotropic medication, including antipsychotics. This is the reason why I have a mental health history at Yale, a fact of which much was made during the Living or Napping While Black hate crime hoax by my tormentors. Later, during the summer of 2015, one of the grad students with whom I had remained friendly made me aware that the other graduate students had not been satisfied with merely socially ostracizing me. They approached the administration with the intent of having me disciplined and even expelled for having expressed my allegedly anti-LGBTQ views. I was told that the faculty had stood up for me, which is the only reason, seemingly, that the administration did not pursue any disciplinary procedures against me. And I was told that the faculty kept this information from me because of my fragile mental and emotional state. Given the intimate, insular nature of Yale's campus, it didn't take long before I was widely known and despised across campus, certainly the doing of the disgruntled grad students who hadn't been able to oust me physically from Yale. I believe that my notoriety played some part in the repeated instances of harassment I experienced in on-campus housing. All right, I'll go ahead and stop there for now. So that's the end of part 3 of my essay, my 6 years at Yale with the woke intersectional feminists and how they tried to destroy me. My response to James Hatch's viral medium essay, my semester with the Snowflakes. Thank you so much. And I have my PayPal me and GoFundMe links below. Please donate to my legal fund. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. And I have a link to my medium essay below in the information box. Thank you so much. Have a great night.